show me any other financial vehicle than IUL, a property structured maximum funded IUL, that can generate a 10% payout, totally tax-free with income for, let's say, retirement that will last as long as you live without depleting principal. Now, I have challenged many CPAs, tax attorneys, other financial advisors to do that. I've yet to have any of them show me a financial vehicle that can do that. So in this episode, get ready, I'm going to show you why IUL, when it's properly structured, can do that, and why it's my favorite financial vehicle for long-term goals like retirement. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist and a retirement planning specialist now for 5 decades, helping thousands of people optimize their assets, minimize taxes, and empower what I call their true or authentic wealth. But so many people have come to me to find out what is the best way to save for long-term goals such as retirement. And when I show them a property structured maximum funded indexed universal life insurance contract, I will illustrate it accumulating money, let's say for a 35-year-old, for 30 years to age 65. And for every $1 million that we accumulate, let's say by age 65, that can generate $100,000 a year income, tax-free. That's a 10% payout. And I can illustrate that if they live to be 120. And I say, now show me any other instrument that does that. And I actually in the software can show mutual funds invested in traditional IRAs or 401ks. They can't do that. I've never had an advisor successfully show me that. I'll explain why. Annuities, they can't do that. They're only tax deferred, even if they could do a 10% payout. Whole life insurance, I've never had a whole life agent meet that challenge. They cannot do that. I've never seen a whole life policy be able to generate a 10% payout without depleting the cash value in a whole life policy. And so that's why IUL is the dream solution for long-term goals such as retirement. It knocks the socks off of IRAs and 401ks and the like, because it was designed in the first place by E.F. Hutton back in 1980 to be used primarily for living benefits. Now, let me quickly cover why traditional investments, such as money invested in the market in IRAs and 401ks, or annuities, or whole life insurance can't do this, or municipal bonds, or any of those things, okay? Now, in the financial services industry, you have a lot of advisors who will invest your money and manage those assets under management. It's called AUM, assets under management. And they'll charge you 1% every year on the value of your account as it continues to grow. And they tout that they're fiduciaries. They're looking out for your best interest. And yet, even though they can tell you that you're going to be in a higher tax bracket because you're a saver, they still continue to postpone and defer to some future perceived unknown advantage, and then take out your money down the road when you are in as higher tax bracket as you've ever been in. Were they really looking out for your best interest? They should have at least converted you to a Roth. But 91% of Americans are duped, and they continue to be duped, putting money into tax-deferred IRAs and 401ks in the market. Now, if you don't understand the market, it's volatile. And Wall Street was never designed to create predictable cash flow or income. And so if you're a broker-dealer and you have advisors out there that are managing money, and those people who those accounts are going to retire, most of these advisors are told by the broker-dealers never illustrate more than a 4% payout. It's called the 4% rule in the financial services industry. Now, why? That's pretty pathetic. In fact, it's unacceptable to me. Every $1 million that you've saved, they only want you to pull out $40,000 a year. That's pretty pathetic. I mean, I don't save $1 million nest egg to have a measly $40,000 a year of income, but that's not the whole story. If you pulled out $40,000 a year, you have to pay tax on that if it's a traditional IRA or 401k. even in a 25% tax bracket. You pull out $40,000, you pay tax of $10,000. You're netting $30,000 to buy gas and groceries, prescriptions, and golf green fees. You're netting 3%. That's ridiculous. I can do triple that. I can do 9% out of an IUL policy, totally tax-free. That's 300% more. What would you rather have? $30,000 to buy gas and groceries and prescriptions and golf green fees, or $90,000 a year out of the same $1 million nest egg? But a lot of these asset managers, they charge you 1% asset management fees. If you subtracted that 1% on that million, that's another 10 grand. You're really only netting 2%, which is even more ridiculous. Now, why is there this 4% rule? Well, there are organizations, research firms such as Dalbar that studies investor behavior. And they reveal that most retirees in America with money invested in tax-deferred IRAs or 401ks in the market are only averaging 3.49%, about 3.5%, with their money invested in the market. Why? Because usually that's serious cash. People don't want to jeopardize it, and we go through these ebbs and flows, and they're buying and selling at the wrong times. They get emotional. They see their retirement nest egg, and that $1 million nest egg can dwindle down in value like it did from 2001 to 2003 to 600 grand. It did it again in 2008, okay? And when you see that value go down even, 20, 25, 30%, like March of 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic, people panic and they sell. They go, I can't afford to take it. So they sell low, and then they wait until it comes back up, and then they buy high. And so, if they bought and held, they might average 9.14% according to Dalbar, and net 6 after tax. Most Americans don't do that. And so they are earning about 3.5%. So the financial services industry says, we only want you to illustrate a 4% payout, which is a little bit higher than the rate of return, but it will slowly deplete their nest egg, but not before their LE. LE is life expectancy. That's called the 4% rule. That is totally unacceptable to me, because I know with a properly structured IUL policy that every $1 million can generate real easily 8% payout, $80,000 a year. But frankly, if you rebalance and you diversify, I have averaged over 11%, 11.17 since 1997, netting 10.07 cash on cash. And so we have had many people that have, for every $1 million of cash in their IUL policies, it can generate $100,000 a year of tax-free income by using the smart way to access your money with index loans. And they can do that without depleting principal. Now, it's like the dream solution. So money in the market can't do it. Wall Street does not want their advisors illustrating any more than 4%. Now you have some advisors that say, well, annuities. There's some annuities that might give you a 10% payout. Well, maybe for a term certain of 10 years or something. It's very rare you'll find an annuity that will have that high of a payout. But even if they did, it's only tax deferred. You're gonna have to pay tax on that annuity. And so if you did pull out a 10%, $1 million pull out 100 grand in a 33% bracket, you're only netting, $67,000 to buy gas and groceries. Okay, because you have to pay tax on it. Whereas money out of an IUL, you pull out 100 grand, you get to spend 100 grand because it's tax free. Does that make sense? You also have maybe other alternatives. Municipal bonds aren't even in the picture anymore because they're low yielding. There's a lot of municipalities that are filing bankruptcy more and more, and so that's not a popular alternative. Sometimes whole life agents will tout that whole life can be used for retirement. Yeah, you could. Use it for living benefits. It was not designed for living benefits as the primary focus. It was designed primarily for death benefits, but you can sort of maximum fund it. But I have challenged whole life agents for years. You show me a whole life policy that can accumulate money within 1% of the gross rate of return by age 65, and I've yet to have anybody do that, any whole life agent. But when I say, whatever the cash value is at age 65 with this max funded whole life policy, illustrate a 10% payout without depleting the principal for this client out to age 120. I've never had a whole life agent be able to do that, okay? Because they can't. And so there's some costs involved with the guarantees that they tout and so forth, which I don't need in indexed universal life. The guarantees aren't needed when your cash value equals and exceeds the death benefit within 12 years. And you can't believe how many whole life agents don't even understand that statement. But anyway, there is no other financial instrument that I'm aware of. I'm still waiting for somebody to show me one that can give you a 10% payout starting at age 65 on every $1 million to generate $100,000 a year of net spendable income that will last if you live to be 120. But we can illustrate that all the time, and we've had clients actually be able to achieve this by using max funded IUL, and they rebalance and they diversify correctly, okay, based on actual history. So that's my challenge here. I want you to learn why and how IUL, when it's structured correctly, can perform like that. Because if you had clients and every $1 million, and you'll accumulate that million quicker using IUL if you do it right, but every $1 million can generate 80, 90, 100,000 or more of tax-free income compared to other investments that you'd be lucky to get 40, 50, 60,000 of income. It becomes a no-brainer. There's nothing else that even holds a candle to it. So if you want to learn more and see actual examples of this, I would strongly recommend that you claim a free copy of my book, The Laser Fund. Now, this is a 300-page book, actually 2 books in one. This side is for the left brain learner, 14 chapters, about 200 pages with all the charts, graphs, and explanations. If you're more of a right brain learner, you flip it over to this one. This is about 100 pages, 12 chapters with 62 actual client stories of how the Laser Fund is the dream solution for many financial goals. To claim your free copy of this 300-page book, it's been flying off of our warehouse shelves. It retails on Amazon for $20 plus shipping. I'll pay for the book. Simply go to laserfund.com, click on the link below. You contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I'll cover the rest of that cost, and I'll pay for the book and fire out a hard copy to you via priority mail. When you're in there claiming your free copy, check out the audio and video versions if you like to listen and learn or watch and learn. There's free educational webinars we teach on a regular basis. You can register for those. You can even schedule an appointment online to talk to a certified IUL professional that I oversee, and they can create illustrations to show you how these can be structured correctly in your particular set of circumstances with no cost or obligation on your part. So check this out. You'll find out why it's my favorite financial vehicle, bar none, for any type of long-term goal, 5 years or longer down the road.